Hello again, and welcome. In this video we're going to go a little bit deeper into system preferences. As the name implies, system preferences is the place we go to change many of the preferences for the entire computer, as opposed to changing just how a single program works. If you're coming from a PC, it's roughly analogous to the control panel. Don't be afraid to play around with many of your system preference settings as we go along, because they're only preferences or opinions on how you want your computer to look and function, but you can always change them back. We'll learn to customize many of the personal settings in your computer that people usually like to change right away, such as your desktop picture, language settings, and expose settings. Let's get started. Let's open System Preferences. If it's on your dock, you can click here. If it's not, go to the Apple menu in the top left corner and choose System Preferences. In this video, we're going to be talking about just this first row along the top, and I'll point out some of the more pertinent features and leave the exploration of them up to you. Let's start by clicking on Appearance. Most people leave these settings as they are, except for these first two features. I'm going to open up a Safari window to demonstrate how this first change works. Go back to System Preferences. Keep an eye on the three colored buttons in the top left corner of this window, as well as the scroll bar on the right side. I'm going to change this appearance from blue to graphite. I'm going to go back to the Safari window. Notice the three buttons are no longer colored, and the scroll bar is no longer blue. I'll change this back to blue. The color comes back to the buttons, and in this web page as well. Color's back in the buttons, and the scroll bar is blue. This is just a minor change, but a nice personalization, especially if you're working with photos or video and want to keep bright colors to a minimum. Also, you can change your highlight color for when you highlight text by clicking and dragging. For example, I'll click on this text. You'll notice that it highlights in blue. But here I'm going to change my highlight color to orange. And I'll go back to this window, and you notice now it's highlighted text in orange. Again, a small change, but a nice personalization touch. When you're finished in a particular panel, such as Appearance, and you want to go back to see all of your system preferences, you can click the Show All button in the top left corner. I'm going to close my Safari window, and we'll move along. Now on to the good part. Everybody likes to customize their desktop picture with a personal picture or something other than the default purple starburst that you see behind my screen. Notice as we open this panel that it has two tabs along the top, Desktop and Screensaver. In case you're still getting Desktop and Screensaver confused, let me clarify. The desktop is the still image sitting behind all of your files and folders in the menu bar. It's always there in the background, it doesn't move. In my case, it's this purple starburst in the background. The Screensaver, on the other hand, is what will come up after you've left the computer just sitting there for a period of time. It's usually a moving image or a shape that comes up on top of whatever you're doing, like this. We're going to change the desktop picture first. To change your desktop picture, choose a category from the list along the left side. I'll choose Plants, and then click on one of the pictures that shows up. As soon as you click on it, your desktop image is changed. The default images are perfectly sized, so it just works. There are at least two other ways to add your own pictures. If you have pictures in iPhoto, for example, you can click on iPhoto here and browse through the list of your different events and albums in iPhoto. Again, click on an image, and it becomes your desktop. Now you may want to rearrange the image in case it doesn't fit properly on your desktop. To do that, you can click on this drop-down menu and choose a different option. Center. Fit to screen is a good one. And then you have the bars. You can change the color of the bars by clicking on the square and choosing a new color. Lastly, if you would like to add an image that is not in iPhoto, click on the plus button in this lower left corner and navigate through your computer to find a folder that you want to add. In this case, I'm going to click on My Desktop Pictures. I will choose that, It's added to the left side over here, and the contents of that folder are shown here as images. Again, I can click on any one of these images to add them as a background. You can choose to have the images change at a given frequency, so you're not always looking at the same desktop by clicking Change Picture. However, be aware that the more frequently they change, the more processing power your computer is using to change them in the background, which can slow down other operations on the computer. Therefore, if I want my desktop to change, I don't do it any more frequently than when logging in, when waking from sleep, or every day. If you have it change every 5 minutes, then the computer is doing extra work in the background that'll slow things down. You can also have them change in random order by checking this box here. Before we move on from desktop images, let me close System Preferences and show you two other shortcuts for doing this. You can open up a folder and right-click or control-click on an image and say, Set Desktop Picture. And it changes right away. Or, close this window and right-click or control-tap on the desktop itself and choose Change Desktop Background. And it will open up this very same window that we were working in before. Let's keep going with screensavers. I'm going to click on the Screensaver tab to change over. As with desktop, you can choose from the list on the left side a screensaver, such as Flurry. You can also choose from a list of photos and albums in iPhoto. You'll see the screensaver demonstrated on the right side. It's important to choose how long you want your computer to wait before the screensaver comes on by dragging this bar along the bottom. If you do choose to use a screensaver, a 10-minute wait is reasonable. If not, slide it all the way to the right where it says Never. Do be aware that you may have the computer go to sleep before there's time for the screensaver to come on, in which case you'll see this message down below. The display will sleep before your screensaver activates. This preference can be changed in the Energy Saver panel. You can test the screensaver by clicking Test. Hit Escape to get out of your test, or just move your mouse. You can also customize any options that might come with this screensaver. If you're viewing your own pictures, you can choose a different display type for your screensaver. You may also choose to use a random screensaver if you like something different each time. You can also assign hot corners. This means that if you make the top left corner of your screen a hot corner, Start Screensaver, then when you move your mouse all the way into that corner, in the top left corner of the screen, and leave it there for a second, your screensaver will turn on. All you have to do is move your mouse to make it go away. That's it for the screensaver. Go back to Show All. The dock panel we covered in the video on how to change the dock, so I'm not going to get into that here. Play around with these settings here and see what you like. You can also click on the link at the bottom of the screen to jump over to our separate video about customizing your dock. That's it for part 1 of this video. Click on the link below to continue on with part 2.